Enemies in this context are people or forces that we are fully aware of what position they hold in our lives, what they are to us, and how they can be a toxic influence on one's relationship and marriage. Enemies could be our very friends, family members, and unseen forces. Marital blessings are the God-given benefits attached to your marriage. They are the basics that make you move forward maritally. This involves every necessary provision, love, peace, health, happiness, amazing home, and a blissful marriage. The enemies will do anything to manipulate you to blocking the source automatically, but never be the weapon that should be used to hinder your own marital blessings. In fact, never allow it at all. Have you ever picked up a little rock and then you see bugs and worms moving in a revolting manner underneath? That is how disgusting people's minds and intentions are towards you. There is no probability that having friends means no enemies as long as you're living, progressing, and you are doing what makes you happy. You are bound to having enemies within and without. A person might have wronged you severally in the past and you still choose to overlook it, but a part of you resents and keeps the memories with you, just so you can be in the lookout for anyone else you come in contact with. When we are being revengeful or not letting go of whatever the enemy has done, it brings no judgment upon them. It means you are telling God you can defend yourself and you do not need Him to do that for you. And this could also hinder you from being blessed maritally because you will keep harboring that pain. Despite it is not a right that you have been hurt, and maybe it affects you psychologically now, and you have become to build a wall of defense around you. You need to know that this could affect your marriage greatly. God knows what you have been through, how far you have come, but never let the things people have done to you hinder God's blessings upon your marriage. Have you ever been frustrated and totally tired wanting to compromise your work with someone and just give up on that relationship because you have actually been with a person who ended up hurting you greatly? And because it looks like this person you are with seemed to be manifesting some of those qualities too, you begin to feel a little bit insecure about your relationship, even without giving such partner a chance to prove that they can be totally different. It is because you choose not to let go. When you are not letting go, there's every tendency you might be robbing yourself of the peace, happiness, and security in your marriage. The devil could also move the people that are quite close to you. Even your acquaintances and friends that you believe to be faithful are your enemies. They knowingly sprout up issues that would cause you to doubt your spouse. They could begin to make you see reasons why you should never stay faithful in your marriage, and sometimes give negative heads up about how to deal with your spouse giving you reasons why you should not trust in them. They would give evil counsel rather than settle rift when you and your partner have issues. You must be fully aware of what counsels you listen to. The advices you pay attention to have its influence on your actions could begin to work in contradiction to what God had ordained for your marriage, which would again cause you to block your marital blessings unknowingly. There are moments when issues could arise between you and your partner. You might have a little misunderstanding, and it happens in every relationship. What you should be aware of is that you are the only one that can either let the enemy hijack your home or prevent it. You could either take the right actions by coming together so God's blessing will continue to flow to your marriage, or just watch the enemy use your anger and malice to block what is yours. What is needed of you is your patience, endurance, and prayers to God continuously, and always be mindful that the keys to open or shut the doors of your marital blessings are in your hands. You can either control it by letting the Spirit of God guide your marriage or act the way it pleases you. The enemies are always on the lookout for your errors, just so they could use anything against your marriage, and that is the spiritual aspect. The physical aspect involves your dealings with people from the past and even in the present. The things you do, the efforts you invest into your marriage, and how much you care for your spouse and the family. Whether you are playing your role as the man, the head of the family, or as the wife, you are submissive and receptive. Taking good care of your home, God is paying a great deal of attention to the home. All of these activities that seem trivial are quite heavy on what blessings you can receive maritally. The way you deal with your home could easily be seen whether you have given the enemy a chance to use you or not, as you could be an enemy to your own self when you know the right thing and choose to do the opposite. The spiritual aspect of this involves how we live our daily lives. Revelation chapter 12 verse 10c gives a typical example of how the enemy accuses one before God day and night when we fail to do what's right. As a child of God, you must be watchful in your walk with God. The sin of adultery is a choice. The enemy could lure you to doing it, but it is your choice to either accept that offer or not. Never allow the enemy use your weakness against you. Adultery is a sin against your spouse. It is a sin against God and your own body. This can cause the enemy to accuse you before God, therefore hindering your marital blessings. Whenever one falls into sin, it gives the adversary the right to invade different aspects of the person's life, and the effect is not always pleasant. But you are a child of God and a royal priesthood, and you have been distinguished as God's own. You cannot be stopped, and neither can the enemy prevent your blessings, because you know the truth. You walk in righteousness, therefore you are blessed. In all you do, always be sure that you are making the right decision from the multitude of those thoughts in your heart. In all your dealings and actions, always seek to do what is right, even with your spouse, family, and the people around you, even the ones you know have no good intentions towards you. However, God knows we would definitely have enemies, but still chooses to tell us in Mark chapter 12 verse 31 to love your neighbor as yourself. Yes, you have to do that so God can bless you. People may do things because they feel justified to do so, but that is for those who are in the world. You are not of the world, and a clear obedience to God's words alone prevents your blessings from being blocked. Never allow yourself yield to the hatred the enemy might cause you to feel. Rather, let your heart be filled with joy. Keep doing what you can. Keep focusing on what God has done for you and not what your enemies have done. Keep forgiving. What is more important is that you are keeping the door of your marital blessings opened. Do not worry about what they have done to you in the past. Remember the blessings tied to it. Do not give up. Do not let their actions stop you. In living a life that should prevent the enemies being a reason for blocking your marital blessings, you must be fervent in prayer. You cannot do it alone, but God can. When you ask for His help, you will navigate your ways through. You will be easily directed by Him on what to do and steps to take, both physically and spiritually. Be good to everyone irrespective of who they are. Even your enemies would have nothing to charge against you before God. You should also bear in mind that your faith in God would help you overcome every enemy. He is giving you what is much more valuable than what you ever had. Always see the attacks, betrayal, ridicule, shame, mockery, and all sort as opportunities for God to add more color to your life and take you to a next level, but never let them be the reason why your marital blessings will get blocked.